But right now, Ozzie Jurock joins me on the line right now. Hey, Ozzie, I was just checking. I thought it may be this week, but it's next week you've got the big Land Rush Conference.
Yes, Mike, it's our 24th annual year, and this year we're going to specialize directly on specific deals that an investor can make. Never mind the large market question, but where? We have Mark Jurock talk about Richmond. We have Rick Hogendown talk Victoria. We have Kelly Fry looking at the Fraser Valley and Brent Roberts as well. We have a major development, Sharon City, talk about pre-sales. We talk about Northern BC with Taylor Steel. So we have very individual people looking at deals, and deals is what we're all about, 100 deals under 100,000. And then, of course, my 8 astounding predictions. You know, Mike, last year my number 1 prediction was that Trump would win, and 7 out of 12 predictions I made. Yeah, I say it's 8, but I actually make 12. The 8 out of 12 came actually true. So we're going to have a ball. We talk about a French foreign buyer, the German foreign buyer, not just the Chinese foreign buyer. So everybody should come out. It's a bargain.
Well, that's next Saturday, March 4th. Now, for tickets, they can just obviously go to landrushcanada.com, landrushcanada.com, or you can call the ticket office at 604-683-1111. I should have said it's in Vancouver, the 24th annual Land Rush. Ozzie, you just said about you're going to be looking at French and Germans coming in. It's really interesting when I look at some of the numbers. For example, commercial real estate investment by foreigners is up 100%, but it looks like the world's wealthy seem to be on the move.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, we welcomed some 320,000 migrants from other countries, and we know that we had 39,000 in BC. And so there's a lot of people there.
Well, but the thing that grabbed me is I think I saw a stat this week that said that somewhat 8,000 millionaire immigrants came to Canada just last year alone, 2016.
Indeed, that's the question. Not only people, but what kind of people? There's a new World Wealth survey came out that showed that 8,000 millionaire immigrants came to Canada. And when you consider that, also, of course, they're going to Australia and the U.S., who got some 11 and 10,000 people. It looks like the world's rich are leaving their countries. And, Mike, you've been talking about that. I mean, millionaires globally uprooting. Some 82,000 of them immigrated last year, up from 64,000 in 2015.
And 8,000 coming to Canada. Interesting that you just, as you just alluded to, 11,000 to Australia, 10,000 to the U.S. Let me just ask, though, you mentioned the study, but how do we know that they were millionaires, for example?
Well, that's why I like this particular study. They only picked people that actually had 7-figure bank accounts, respectively, in all of those areas. And that really makes to me the difference, because it isn't just that they're buying maybe the real estate, but they're buying cars and boats and furniture and all sorts of other stuff that benefits our economy.
Yeah, and the other thing is that, we've talked an awful lot about foreign investment in Vancouver the last few years, now Toronto, that kind of stuff. But, I mean, of course, it's a global phenomenon. They're investing in other countries, too, probably in bigger numbers than in Canada.
No question. And they're leaving France. And, 12,000 people left in France. So China, 9,000. Brazil, 8,000. We've seen sort of this mass exodus that you and Martin Armstrong have been talking about. We are disenchanted as a middle class with our government. And in some areas, we just can't take it anymore. There's religious strife. There's tax strife. There's all sorts of these crazy things going on. Let's look somewhere else. And guess what? They're coming to Canada. There's an organization called AFIRE, AFIRE, and they look at all foreign investments around the world. And now U.S. is number 1, Germany number 2. And guess what? Canada, for the first time, is number 3, whereas UK dropped down. So the money is fleeing to us. And again, that will have impact on our real estate.
I was interested in that number, that Germany is number 2. Because I we'll see if I'm right, but I sort of think that money coming out of Europe, it's not there yet. They've had problems, but I think there's so many problems on the front burner there now. Money will go into Germany, but it'll come from other European countries in anticipation that they'll go back to the Deutschmark. But it's really interesting how this money is moving around. I think I heard CNBC talk about the millionaires getting out of France. That's been something going on for a number of years, thanks to Francois Hollande. Jumped up, if you remember, those taxes to 75%. But the other one is we shouldn't, there is growing tensions there, obviously with the refugee crisis, religious tensions, etc. So, yeah, I'm just wondering, are you seeing the Europeans come here too?
Well, that's the part, and it is, yeah, we knew that they're buying the waterfront in Nova Scotia, but did we really know, other than listening to this radio show, that they're buying condos in Montreal and condos in Toronto? The Germans are. And one German bought the Royal Centre here for $425 million. In fact, commercial, as you pointed out, commercial investment, CBRE Capital Markets just reported last week that deals over $10 million are up 41% of the investment volume and 22% just over the first half of last year. So more and more money is coming, both residential and commercial. And I think you all have to come to the Land Rush Conference to find out how you can access all of that money.
Well, again, it is interesting because you look at China continually adding to their currency controls, that kind of stuff, but we're seeing more money come from Europe.
Well, and that's the thing I think is going to continue. The other reason why less from China, China's taken the gloves off. I wrote a story to my subscribers before Christmas. I called it, Ho Hum, will they really enforce it? Well, now they came to Canada and did a lawsuit against one of their citizens that bought a multi-million-dollar house and won it last week. So they're actually pursuing some of the guys that have left with illegal money and trying to collect it back.
Going to be fascinating. Hey, Ozzie, I got time for a quick hot property.
Yeah, 2-bedroom condo in Surrey, large balcony, 179, a 1-bedroom at 158, and a 2-unit house with a suite with 2 new kitchens for $699, all in Surrey, close by. Great deals.
You want more information on that, just go to Jurock.com. But a reminder that next Saturday you got the Land Rush Conference, the 24th annual, and Ozzie hasn't changed a bit in those 24 years. That's actually his complaint of his wife, Joe. You haven't changed a bit in 24 years, and she's been working on you. But all you have to do is go to landrushcanada.com, landrushcanada.com, or call 604-683-1111. That's 604-683-1111. Ozzie, I hope you can still make time for us next week. Juggle that agenda so that you can join us tomorrow, or next week, rather.
I'll do that. And if people come and complain about me being fat, I found there was only one way to look thin. I'm going to hang out with fat people. That's what Rodney Dangerfield said.
Well, that sounds like a hell of a plan.